Hi, thanks for tuning in for a Simple Diva discussion. My name is Julie Dorley and I'm the owner of ASimpleDiva. And I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about the difference of the standards within the US versus the standards within the European Union or the EU, and what that means in terms of makeup, cosmetics, food products, all sorts of stuff, and household cleaners, so many things. Now, the standards in the EU are so much higher than the standards in the US that are under the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration's requirements. And so let's just talk a minute about how different they are. So in the US, we have 8 chemicals out of 40,000 that are known chemicals in the world, that there are 8 that are considered completely banned. 8. Now, there are 3 more that are on the list that are considered restricted, whatever the heck that means. So at most, we have 11 chemicals that are banned by the FDA in some sort of form. Now, let's talk about the EU. The EU has over 1,300, so 1,328 to be exact. So the US does less than 1% of what the EU does. And like Canada has over 500. So, I mean, even there we have a huge amount of difference. Now, there's a few questions as to like why this happens. And the biggest is that there's really relaxed regulations in the US that, because our government has favored there's favoritism towards companies and manufacturers and not towards the health of the citizens of the country. Now, regardless of where you fall on the political spectrum, obviously, I don't know, if you have a soul, I'm assuming, that you wouldn't want people to be harmed by the products that they use. That, like, you should, I would think, at least for me, let me just speak for myself. I want people to be safe by the products that they use. Now, there's no requirement that companies in the US actually do any safety testing to make sure that their products aren't going to harm anybody. Can you believe that? There is no requirement. Now, some companies will do it, but that doesn't mean that they do. So let's just go through a little bit of what this means. So whether you're talking about cosmetics or makeup or toothpaste or shampoo or anything that you are going to put on your body as like a beauty product, those things don't have the regulations in the US that they do in the EU. So you have no idea what you are putting on your body. And that also goes to, it's not just the Food and Drug Administration that has really relaxed regulations, but also the EPA and the Environmental Protection Agency. They also have really relaxed regulations. So you might be finding certain things inside of household cleaners, inside of your food, whether it be cheese or, tuna fish, anything, so many different things that everything is like the standards in the US are really, really lax, which means that people are getting sick. And you'd see much more higher levels of sickness in the US than you do in other countries. And this is one of the reasons why. So let's talk a little bit about asbestos. Okay, we've been hearing for a long, long time that asbestos can cause cancer, right? We've been hearing it. Guess what? It's not a banned substance. Of those 11 things, asbestos isn't on the list. Formaldehyde. Anybody do dissection back in the 80s? Formaldehyde has been found to cause cancer. It is a known carcinogen, like known to cause cancer. Guess what? that's also not banned. Do you know what formaldehyde's in? It's in nail polish, it's in hair straightening products, it's in eyelash glue. Like formaldehyde. Do you want to be putting formaldehyde in your dang eye, essentially, like that close to your eye? That's what you're doing. And if you have a product that is made in the US and sticks to FDA standards. Now, granted, there are companies that like may not use the FDA standards. And that's what is so important about the company that I am with. So I represent a company called Younique. Well, that's the products that we sell through ASimpleDiva. I don't actually speak for them. But one of the things that I love is that Younique uses the EU standards instead of using the standards that are required by the FDA, even though the US is our largest market. So, and this is also a problem. So, some companies, like for example, if they are selling to the European Union, and so anybody in Europe, that the products that they send to Europe have to meet the EU standards if they want to sell there. But they then will sell something called the same thing in the US, but only put it within the FDA requirements. You know why? Because it's cheaper. So, a product that you buy in, London is not guaranteed to be the same product that you buy in New Jersey. So, and that's crazy. And, one of those things that falls into this like mystery chemical thing are like fragrances. So, when you see fragrance on your products, that can be anywhere between 10 and 100 different chemicals that make up that fragrance. Can you believe that? And you have no idea what that is. And those, like whatever's producing that fragrance probably doesn't fall in those 8 to 11 chemicals that are restricted in the US. So there are so many ways that people are getting poisoned. Yes, poisoned, because it is known, the reason why the EU has banned over 1,300 chemicals is because it is known that your body will absorb those, whether it is through your nail polish, through your shampoo, your face products. You are putting things directly on your face that then your skin is going to absorb into your body. And so it is so important to use products that are going to be tested and confirmed and not full of chemicals. Younique does not use harsh chemicals. It is a standard of ours. And although we are in over 15 different markets in different countries, we go by the highest standard, which is the EU standard. And the same product, you can go to London, you can go to New Jersey, you can go to Hong Kong, and you will find the exact same product for Younique across the board. Even though it might be cheaper in the US to produce it, however, to, get it done cheaper with adding in, the stuff that, might make, your skin smoother, but it also causes cancer. So we do not do that. So it is so important to be aware of the products that you're putting on and in your body, and make sure that they are meeting standards that are going to protect you and not disregarding your health. And so if you're not sure about your products, that's something to research before you start putting it into your body or, consuming it in some sort of way. If you have any questions on this, obviously I'm not an expert, I'm not a chemist, I'm not a biologist, but I've done my own research and I know what Younique does and what we require. And so please don't hesitate to leave a comment, ask a question. I'm happy to help, but do your own research. You'll see it's out there. It will tell you that the US does less than 1% of what the EU does. And that is causing huge health issues. So get rid of the asbestos in your life, get rid of the formaldehyde in your life, get rid of fragrances that might be filled with harsh chemicals. And if your products aren't showing you what the ingredients are, there might be a reason for that. And, like for example, that favorite favorite pink and green mascara, did you know that the fourth ingredient in that is shellac? Like what you use to varnish your table, like, or to put a sheen on your table, shellac. Do you want shellac on your face? Like, probably not. But do you people know that it has shellac in it? Of course they don't, because they don't pay attention to that. So it's super important to pay attention. And so just make sure that you're taking care of yourself and those around you, and not be putting products that are going to harm you or your family members or your baby. Like baby products, guess what? Those 11 restricted items, like that's just for baby products too. So you might be using a product that is available in the US, not even tested in the US, and you're putting that on your baby. It happens. So be aware, be conscious about the things that you are using. And like I started to say, sorry, I got distracted, but if you're using products that do not include the ingredients, then that might be a reason. And Younique includes the ingredients for every single product we have on our website. You can find a fact sheet for every single item and be able to see exactly what is in it. And so no harsh chemicals here, no nothing that is known to kill you going into any of our products. So thanks for tuning in for this ASimpleDiva discussion, and I hope to talk to you soon. All right, thanks so much. Mwah. Bye.